gonna be weird. Okay. Hi, it's Vicki Clark. I'm actually inside my sister's house because she has done her 14-day self-isolation. I'm currently babysitting the kids, so I might need to break off and check with them, but maybe not, okay? But while we're waiting for people to come, this is the project. I taught this at the Palm Meadows. Hi, Nanetta. Hi, Dina. I taught this at Palm Meadows in, hi, Ginny, in 2009, okay? So this has gotten a little bit flattened out because it's been in storage, pretty beaten up over the years. But what I wanted to talk about first, while we were just waiting for people to get here, is the way I finished it. This is about 1.5 inches across. I used craft felt, but you could use like wool felt or whatever, stitched around the edges. So this is how I finished it back then. But what I would do now is something more like this. I would probably do a beading edge like this around the edge. And just because that's just one of those extra little special touches. Hi, Ginny. So that's all. Okay, so that's why I brought this, just so I could show you, you know, and then you can just sew on the pin. Now, in here, I actually put, because there's nothing to kind of hold it. Hi, Tanya. I put cardboard. So there was cardboard, or I think it was a cereal box board in there. Okay. This was at one time poofy, but okay. So today what we're going to do is we're going to do this flower, which is the large flower, because basically as you do this flower, you're basically doing the small flowers anyways. And then we'll come back another time and do the leaf. Okay. All right. So I thought that it would also be good for us to kind of get an idea of, okay, so one is the join at the end. If you're reading through the large flower, there's the ring and then there's a series of chains. When I say, join at the end, right, the little plus sign, I mean for a lock join. This pattern is from 2008. So, I've changed my writing style since, so I'm a little more precise now. But I wanted to tell you is that, hi, JB. I wanted to tell you is that this is the basic, I know it doesn't look like it from here, but this is the basic design of the flower. It's based off of this classic rosette structure. Okay, so if you look at it from the back, you can see maybe that classic rosette. Hi, JB. So that's basically what it is. We go out a couple rows, and then we're going to come and we're going to kind of tat in and join. So the first thing I want to show you is how to make the little center doohickey. Okay, so the center doohickey, right, the little yellow in the flower is oops, okay, nope. Oh, okay, hold on. Oh, I should have brought in so I had brought a white blanket. But I thought maybe that was a little paranoid. Oh, hi, Cynthia. So this is what the center looks like, okay? And the way I make that is we do a ring with long picots, and then we do a swirl join. So we're going to start with that, okay? So we don't have to hide the ends necessarily on this because we're going to pull the ends back. So when we do this, the center part, then we're going to do a bunch of long picots. And when I did this way back when, I had done the small picots because I thought you could use those to sew it in if you needed to, okay, just to anchor it down. Hi, Melanie. So here's our long picots. You could be longer than that if you wanted it to be floofier. You don't have to be super whatever about it, but we kind of need 5-ish. This is one of those things where it's not going to matter if you make a mistake. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because remember, nature is not perfect. So there's my 5. Okay, and then for my last one, I'm going to do a swirl join. So what a swirl join is you need a crochet hook. And what you're going to do is you're going to go through, and this is from, hey Joan, the swirl join is from Helma Schippelman, okay, Artistry and Tatting, because she uses this. So you come around, that second picot I probably should have gotten a little bit better. And I come through all of the picots, whoops, and I come back through, sorry, let me do that again. I got it tangled a bit. Okay. Come back through, and if I were to choose this crochet hook again, I probably would have brought a bigger, not such a fine tipped crochet hook, but anyways, oh, and there's it snaggled. Okay, hold on. Let's try this one more time. There we go, all the way through. This does not have to be a tight kind of join. In fact, looser is better. You kind of almost don't even pull it up the way you would normally, which is, believe it or not, hard to do. And what happens is when you do this and then you close it down, and right now it looks really messy, but that's okay, because when you close it down, you don't care that it's messy because you're meant to look messy. Okay, and that's what creates that little middle stamen. Okay, ooh, can we get that to focus a little bit better? Ooh. No, apparently not. Okay. Oh, there it goes. So just like a little blob. And so that's where sometimes it looks nicer if you have a little bit of a, I did those a little whatever, but see how here they're nice and floofy. So I did them longer. Okay. All right. So that would be that little center part that you're just going to pull through, so it doesn't need to be attached to anything. Okay. So what you would do at the very end of this is you would pull this down through the center here, okay, so that the yellow was on the other side. Where did I put the crochet hook now? Okay, all right. Hey Marty. Okay, so that would be what the center looked like, and I would pull that down. Okay, I'd pull the other thread down if I was really doing it too, but just so you can see how that center is put in. Okay. All right, so now, just so you can see, I have a sample where that whole middle part is done in yellow, and then that outside round is done in a different color, and that outside, oh, is it still blurry? Sorry, Marty, that's probably as good as it's gonna get. There we go. So there is where it chains around the outside. When we get to that part, okay. Ooh. Then you'll be able to see. But what I have done is I have, I'm going to do my core thread in a contrasting color so you guys can see. Okay, so there it is. Okay, all right. Okay, oops, sorry, got ahead of myself. And just like the other day, I don't have these patterns printed off because I don't have a printer with me. So we're going to do, and I'm not going to be as nice as I would normally do with a, if I wasn't showing this to you, okay? So ring, one large picot. I'm going to make the picots fairly large just so you can see them. One very small picot, one large picot, one very small picot, one large picot, one very small picot. Oops, that's not very small. That's kind of just a normal sized one. Okay. Oops. Hi, Tina. 1, 2, 3, 4. I was just saying to everybody, for the people, or saying before, this pattern's from 2008, so not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I would probably write it slightly different now. Okay. Okay, on the last one, you're not going to make that very small picot, okay? Because that you're going to have one formed when you do the, when you go to do a mock picot, okay? So did I do that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hi, Linda. At this point in time, we're going to double check to make sure I have 6 long picots. And it's going to be these little small picots that we join to, okay? And then there'll be one formed here when I add the other thread. I'm not going to be as careful. Oh no, no worries, Linda. I'm not going to be as careful as I would normally be adding this again, just to be clear. Okay, so there's my first. So there would be a little, if I hadn't changed colors, it'd be a very small picot there, okay? And then we're gonna go 1 stitch and then a very long, or in a long picot, 1 stitch, or 1 stitch, long picot. Okay, 1. Okay, so just like that, hey Melissa. So we're gonna be coming around, and doing, so this rosette is a little bit different than this rosette in that I started off with 6 because I did longer chains, but in this case we would be much closer and we'd be doing 3, okay, or 3 double stitches, okay. So I don't know if having that rosette in there helps or not, but sometimes it's good to see what you're visualizing, right? Okay, so the reason I did the yellow is because I want you to be able to see the joins coming around, okay? And remember, every time you make a lock join, you automatically have a little picot over top of it, okay? And that's where that's when we're talking about joining, that's where we join later, okay? Oh, say hi to your mom for me. Hi, Melissa. Hi, say hi to Bunny for me. This would also be really neat if you did beads instead of the picots. The reason why I figured we do the large flower is basically as you're doing the large flower, you're going through the same process as what you'd be going through if you were making the small flower. Okay. So that's why. Okay, so there's where we're at right now. The other thing is like right now it looks really easy because I picked, like I said, a contrasting color for the core thread just so you guys could see. But when I was doing this one earlier, right? Because I was just practicing. You can't see the, see there's a little floofies there. When I was doing that earlier, what was happening is that I had sometimes you have a hard time seeing it. So where you're supposed to join. So what I also recommend you do, hi Nancy, is with this especially, now normally I don't worry about some of that stuff, but with this kind of thing, I would use either, where did I put it? A paper or a safety clip, or, a safety pin, a bright colored safety pin, or a bright colored thread to mark where the joins are coming. Because right now it's not so bad because this is my first time going around. But as you get into the next row, then it starts to get really kind of, confusing. This is the closest thing we have to in tatting to like that crochet kind of increase thing where it's like, 2, 4, 8, 12. This is also the same kind of technique that you would use if you look at, oops, Karen Cabrera. She does a thing on how to make a sphere, like cover a bead. And it's the same idea, only I hope you're increasing it by 1. The reason I had this pattern in my database is because Hope asked for it a couple weeks ago. Okay, so when I had started off, if you remember, I actually didn't do what I should have done, which is make a very small picot there. So I'm just going to make a join into there so it will work for us. And it's going to look sloppy for a second because I got a lot of ends that I normally would hide. So let's remember that normally I would hide some of these ends. Oop, that's bringing me up in the wrong spot. So if we'd done the mock picot instead of adding a new thread, we would have been, there we go. Okay. Sometimes it's worth taking a second just to fiddle with things and make sure that everything's sitting right. We would have had a mock picot there, but I skipped over that section. Some things are just too fiddly to do with the camera in the way, or with the phone in the way. Okay. And it should be better because I'm right in the house. I don't know. I kind of wondered that too. But the other day I was outside the door. But I don't know. So there it is after the first round. Oops. There with the contrast. Okay. Now obviously you wouldn't see all those holes, right? You'd have this. Okay. Okay, so we're going to go into that next round. Got a lot of annoying ends in the way. That's why we hide ends as we go, really. Okay, so now we're on the next round, okay? And now we're going to do 1, 2, 3 long picots. You could use a picot gauge if you wanted, just to hold that all exactly the same. And then we come around, and this is why I did the yellow, was so that you could see where the last lock join was, and then we're going to join above that lock joint. And like I said, if you wanted to and you're at home doing this, clearly you're not going to do the contrasting color of core thread, but what you could do is, like I said, is either put a safety, how did I manage that? A safety pin in there, or a thread, like a contrasting color thread. I like the idea of the contrasting color thread just because, I don't know, seems like it tastes like space. I don't like dangly bits around my tatting while I'm trying to tat. I don't know. I think it's funny though is that, hold on a sec. So there we go around. Oh, there we go. Okay. And we go around. Oh, see, I got ahead of myself. Picot. 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 Clark. 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 can you go check to see if your sister's still alive? Hey, Teresa. Please. My niece is in the bath. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Don't just go look. Just ask her if she's alive. Don't go in, okay? I might have done something very wrong. It's just when she's in the bath, I like to just make sure she's still alive. Okay, perfect. Thanks, Clark. Thank you, Clark. I appreciate it. Okay, good. Sorry. Excellent. Thank you. You know, just sometimes when people are in the bath, you have to check.
She's out of the bathtub.
Oh, okay.
She doesn't need help. She always does right with help.
Okay. I don't know. For all I know, anyways. Oh, okay, hold on. Okay. All right. So here we are. There he is. Sorry. Clark is watching Barbie. Oh, 1 second. Sorry. Oh, there we go. Oh, did I go too far? All right, so this is the last one. And then we're going to go into the next round, okay? And the next round is, oops. Okay. Okay, we're just going to shift for a second. Oh, my foot fell asleep. Okay. Oh my God. All right, so now we're gonna be, this whole round is just about setting up for the last round. So we're gonna do a series of very small picots, okay? And we're gonna do 4 very small picots separated by 1 double stitch. What's the matter, Clark? Are you getting hungry? Do you want something to eat? All right, like I'm forcing you. Are you gonna have a yogurt? Oh, strawberries. Okay. In a long, long time, eh?
Can you help me?
Okay, here. Push the strawberries over, Boo. Over here. No, bring them over here. No, here, right here. Okay. Hold on a second. There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Strawberries.
Yeah, put them in, see in the drawer there, see there's the little bowls? Put them in those bowls there, the white bowls. Like the containers.
These two.
No, no, not in the dog bowl. See above there in the yeah, there. See, pull it out and see those little containers there?
Yeah.
Okay, one of those. Okay, sorry. I'm like, not the dog bowls. Okay, so we have 4 very small picos. Okay, thank you, Clark.
I'll just take another.
You gonna take another one? Okay.
So I have 7.
So you have 7? Okay.
I put them in the fridge.
Well, why don't you put them back up here for now, or use 2 hands to carry? Okay, good job.
I put them in the fridge so they're cold and yummy.
When you go to eat them next, okay, you know what's gonna happen? Is when somebody pulls that out, it's gonna go flying. Okay, thank you, Clark. You're really good.
I closed them. I closed it.
You did? Oh, perfect. Okay. So it doesn't go flying? Okay, thank you, Clark. I'm sorry, it was wrong of me to doubt your smarts. Okay, so here we're gonna go.
Good.
It is? Okay. All right, so we're joining around still. So now we're making very small picos, okay? And the reason we're making very small picos is so when we go to do the next round, we have somewhere to join. Nope, to be honest, I don't think that coloring, we're gonna move back a bit. Okay. Close the book. So there's the very small picos. There's the crochet hook. Okay. And once again, we're looking for that join. Hi, Shauna. Okay. Oh, we're so close to doing this part. Getting to the fun part. 1, 2, 3. So
That was fast. It ate all my strawberries.
you did. You want more? Oops.
There's cake in the garbage. Liz left on the floor for me.
She left it on the floor.
Yeah, so Holly could get it.
Oh, so Harley could get it. Well, Harley can't have cake.
Yeah, but she
Hi,
can.
Sue.
I won't die. I'm picking
Yeah,
up.
it'll be fun to count. I like counting, right? So the tatting is repetitive, so then it calms your brain. But only if it's a repetitive pattern, right? It's not a good time for, I don't know. I don't think, see, I don't know if that, here we go. Not a good time necessarily for,
I picked up the big strawberries.
okay. You pick up the big strawberries. Not actually a good time for complicated, though, patterns, I don't think. I don't know. This actually is easier than I'm making it look right now. Okay, so there's our, hi, Anna.
There we go.
Do you guys get to see the comments that are scrolling through?
No.
Oh, here. Okay, here we go. Let's put this up.
I got a lid so hard I didn't get it.
You did? Did you get it though, Clark?
Yeah.
2, 3. Okay.
I like strawberries, so I eat strawberries.
Do you? Can you guys hear Clark when he's talking? I just got a weird look from him. He doesn't realize. All right, so I am so close to being done this round. Okay. Is she? Oh, okay. You're such a good boy, Clark. Like, okay, you just, okay, perfect. Hi, Liv. So Clark just ran into the bathroom because his sister was coming downstairs because she's been in the bathtub all this time. So I think he was waiting to surprise her. You better act like you're surprised. Hi, Linda.
Surprise!
Ev. Thank you for getting it. Did you clean up the the bathroom?
Yeah.
Okay. No, they're for them just to eat.
What?
Oh, my friend was asking if the strawberries Clark was eating was for strawberry shortcake. You can eat the raw potato? Okay. The kids are 9, and then Clark will be 5 in a couple days. So my niece Livia is 9 years old, and then Clark is 5, or will be 5 in a couple days. He asked me for money for his birthday. Oh, hold on a second. Yes. Oops. Trying to text my sister back. Yes, the kids are alive. So. My niece Liv does like to bake. So she was trying to convince her mom that she should be making a blueberry cheesecake. Because she saw the recipe in the thing, but Grandpa and Grandma are on isolation because they were in Florida until next week, so there was no one to eat it. Okay, we ran back to, and we're around back to the beginning. Woohoo! Okay, so this is the part where it gets a little interesting again. Is I do my join, and now we're gonna do. So I'm going to just flip it for a second. So you can see where we've just done a round of small picots, right? And actually this itself looks pretty. If we can just get it to focus for a second. Nope. Oop, 1 second. So there's the front so far. Okay. Sometimes it will focus in better when we have it. That's what the back looks like. But you can kind of see as those little picots. And then there's back to our kind of front. It's going to look kind of fugly right now, but it's okay. It'll settle around. Okay, so here's the part. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're actually going to start, this round's the more tatting intense round, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to tat 5. So we're going to go 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. Actually here. Let me see if under here is a little bit better. Oh, what do you know? Okay, a little bit better. Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right, so there's the back. Okay, we've done 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to do a lock stitch. So 1/2 unflipped. So I do the first one, 1/2 flipped. Okay, and then I continue on 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5. Okay, and then we come back and we're going to join to one of the very small picots. Of course, a crochet hook would make life a lot easier right now. There's my crochet hook. There's me coming back up in. Okay, pass the shuttle through because it's a lock join. Okay, and then pinch, okay? So it's the pinch that kind of gets that nice kind of petally look, okay? All right, and as we do more, so let's go do, whoops, almost tipped that over. There we go. Okay, and we come back around. Hi, Rebecca Ann. And again, we tip that. Now, so where the yellow tips are, that's where the lock join is. Not lock join, lock stitch is, okay? And the thing is that, right, what we're going to do is continue going around. And what happens after you do a bunch of those around is, oops, it ends up looking like that, okay? Except with yellow tips, all right? Okay, so then when you're done that and you come all the way back around, okay, right, you'll end up with this, okay? And then you'll take your, where did it go? Whoops. Or original, oh, there he is. Okay. Hi, Melinda. Our original, where'd it go? So we're going to pretend that I've tatted around and you guys have watched me do that. Then all you're going to do is take your original center part, pull it down through. Now, because remember, we're not worried about these ends because we can pull them down through the material, right? Because they're going to be put onto the, base, right? Okay. All right. So then when you go to sew them on, keeping in mind that, see how you can really tell how crushed these guys were. Then what will happen is that you'll pull the thread just through to the back. This is a double layer, right? So you'll pull the thread through whatever you use as the base, okay? I used, just for people who weren't here earlier, I used craft felt. You can use wool felt if you want, but I'm a big fan of the craft felt. pull that through, put this down, sew it down. You don't have to anchor it too terribly hard. Okay. Believe it or not, this thing is like, this one's this one's 12 years old, over 12 years old. And it stood up. It's been abused. And then for the, yeah, it is really cute. It turned out, it's homespun, but it's cute. And that's why even when I was doing this outside at the time, I was trying to make it look very primitive and homespun. And then the smaller flowers are just the same as this flower, but the first rows, right? So this is like, just say 1 ring around, this is 2 rings around, okay? And then we'll do the leaf another day because it's done a little bit differently. But what I did was I sandwiched 2 pieces of the felt together with some cardboard in between to give it some firmness. Now, I was saying earlier, so I'll show this to you again, is if I were to do this again, then I would, instead of just doing this kind of around, I would do probably a beaded edge now, and sew the beaded around, because that just makes it look that little bit more blingy and finished and all that stuff. But that's just a personal preference, okay? And you don't have to do it that way. You can keep it like this. And if you're a good bead or a good embroiderer, you could make it look really pretty. Yeah, it's cute, right? And this has been beaten up for a couple of years. So believe it or not, when I originally did this, this guy had more dimensionality. Yeah, I know, fancy with the beads. Yeah. It had more dimensionality to it. Now, if you wanted to bling this up, because that's what we were talking about the other day, is what you could do also is add beads to where these little picots are. So you could cover all of these picots in beads instead. Or I've seen where someone just has 1 bead kind of hanging on here just as a little kind of thing. But you could definitely probably, I don't have it with me, but I've done it before, where you do 1 bead for the first round, and then 3 beads for the next round, and then like 5 beads. What might have been Ginny? Oh, Dina just said that might have been Ginny. That might have been Ginny. Anyways, but that's what I had done other times. But you could totally. Oh no, talking about blinging it up. No, it was Linda. Sorry. But that you could totally do that and just make it a little more sparkly warkly. And you could, because this is kind of like a mum. So if you remember that mums can legitimately be very, about the beads, yeah, sorry, it took me a second, can be very colored. So they legitimately have different colors in the center, and it's not really that crazy to have, what did I do with the one with the different tip color? Oh my god, I probably threw it on the floor. Anyways, it's not that unusual to have the tips a different color, because sometimes in the fall when you see the mums, they have tips a different color, okay? Now, I'm pretty sure, I can't guarantee it, but I'm pretty sure from my memory that the inspiration for the flowers was the fact that at that time Linda Davies was doing a whack load of them, and very beautiful, ornate ones, but I like to keep things simple. Okay, so like I said, we'll do the leaf another day, because I think I didn't want to get too long, but that actually uses an onion ring join, but I did the onion ring a little bit different. Okay, any questions or anything, or anything that you would want done another time? Okay, and just a reminder for the people that came later, this is the original kind of base design. That becomes this with a lot more picots. No questions or anything? Okay, all right. Okay, guys, thanks, all right? And if you think of anything particular, let me know, okay, that you want to see, all right? Cheers. Okay, bye, Tanya. Cheers.